Alright, I'm Pete Williams from Unico. This is a little tool that you may find very handy to use with Unico. This is readily available, free of charge usually at most wholesalers. It comes in two styles. It either comes in a slide rule style like this, or it comes in a wheel style. And what this does, it's commonly referred to as a ductulator. It calculates static pressure drop and size of ductwork required. So what we can do with this is we can very easily move this. For instance, with the Unico system on the return air, we need to supply 250 CFM per ton at 0.05 inches static pressure. So right here we see we need 750 CFM. We're going to move that right under where it says 0.05, and we're roughly there. So we look right here, and that shows we have a round duct equivalent of 14 inches. Now we can also, if we prefer, you can use rectangular duct, and there's any number of sizes to choose from. Just to pick one at random, we could have a 10 by 14 inch rectangular duct. This is also used on the supply side. When we check our systems, we are designed for 1.5 inches of static pressure on the supply side. So with that being said, our smaller units up to 700 CFM, let's slide this right here where it says round duct, let's slide that to 7 inch. And 7 inch at 1.5 inches of static pressure is indicated right here by 700 CFM. Now if we use a larger duct, let's move this up now to a 8-inch duct, which is a very commonly available size. Move this to 8-inch duct. This now shows us that at 1.5 inches of static pressure, we can move 1000 CFM. And if we run it with a 10-inch duct, which is the largest size we normally use, at 10 inches, at 1.5 inches of static pressure, we can produce more than our system delivers. We won't be able to produce over 1500 CFM. Our largest unit only produces 1250 CFM. Now if you want to use a larger duct on a smaller system, all that will happen will be, if let's say we use a 10-inch duct and we only have 700 CFM, that will indicate that our static pressure will drop down to almost the same as a conventional system. It will drop down to about 0.25 inches of static pressure. Now that will make the system a little bit quieter, make the system work a little bit more efficiently. Of course, the other thing that does is it will take up more room. So again, we can run the equivalent. In this case here, we have 10-inch round duct. We can run the rectangular equivalent, which, as you see, you have many choices. Say we'll just pick one at random. We can have 8-inch by 10-inch square plenum. So again, if you have to get through some tight spaces, you notice here, you could get down to as low as 4 inches with 20 inches on the other dimension. So as I say, this is a very handy tool. It's a very helpful tool. We tell people that we can reach 150 feet equivalent length at the minimum rated size. Now if we have a question about that, we can take this chart right here, and this will show us, typically we can use a larger size diameter duct, as you can see here, and be able to do the job. So again, as you can see, at 10 inches, this will far exceed anything that our system can produce at a very acceptable static pressure. So if you want to make life easy, just always use 10-inch pipe. Now 10-inch pipe with the 1218 may actually be a little bit too large in order to get the aspiration concept, but for all other sizes, 2 through 5 ton, it's perfectly acceptable to use a 10-inch round or a 10-inch rectangular equivalent.